Welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you enjoyed the NBA Finals Game 1 as much as I did. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm just going to give my take and reaction to NBA Finals Game 1 between the New York Knicks and San Antonio Spurs. Amazing game one. The finals are off to a great start. So we got some good stuff to talk about. Before we jump into that, I would like to mention that on my YouTube channel, I create content about money, sports, and personal topics with the goal of bringing value to other people's lives. So if you guys find value in this video, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. Also, hit that like button and make some comments on your reaction and take to the NBA Finals Game 1 action. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, guys. So, game one of the 2026 NBA Finals is in the books. The New York Knicks defeated the San Antonio Spurs 105 to 95 at the Frostbank Center in San Antonio, and the New York Knicks take a 1-0 series lead. So, for most of the game, the San Antonio Spurs were ahead. They were slightly ahead most of the game. The New York Knicks kept things close enough, and the Knicks overcame a 14-point second half deficit and finished the game on an 11-0 run, and they win the game by 10 points. So, just a really, really good game one of the NBA Finals. Going into the game, I thought it was 50-50. The Spurs just beat an amazing OKC Thunder team in a 7 game series. So the Spurs have been playing really well. But on the other side, the New York Knicks, they have won 11 games in a row. They had over a week of rest since sweeping their last series. So it was just a tough call for me going into game one to see who was going to win the game. But I like the Knicks in this one just because they did have that extra rest. And if they were going to steal a game on the road, game one would be the perfect opportunity for that. And that's exactly what they did. So, really, really good job by the New York Knicks. They win game one. They take home court advantage away from the Spurs and they get the job done. So, great job by the Knicks. Looking at some of the numbers, New York Knicks shot 41.5% from the field. The Spurs shot 36. 3-point field goal percentage, 30% for the Knicks, 25 for the Spurs. So the Spurs did not shoot very well in this game. Um, Julian Champagny was the only one that was really shooting the ball well. He had made 5 3-pointers in the first half, but he didn't make any in the second half. So the Spurs cooled off a lot from the 3-point line in the second half. Total turnovers, Knicks had 9, Spurs had 13. So the Knicks won the turnover battle. Points in the paint, 50 for the Knicks and 42 for the Spurs. So they were pretty close in both of those two categories, which are very important, the turnovers and points in the paint. And some other notable stats, Jalen Brunson, he had a pretty bad shooting game. He went 12 for 31. He went 2 for 9 from three. He did get the 30 points, but it wasn't the most efficient. But he did what he needed to do in the fourth. He scored 13 out of those 30 in the fourth quarter. So he was big and very clutch in the fourth quarter and got that win for them. Karl Anthony Towns had a double double, 18 points, 12 rebounds. And Josh Hart had a really good game. He only had 3 points, but he had 15 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals. So a really good game by Josh Hart. And for the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama logged a double double in his finals debut, but heavily struggled inside against New York's defense. He finished just 6 for 21 from the field, 2 for 9 from three, and he had 26 points with 12 rebounds. So, not one of Wemby's best games for sure, but he still was pretty good. And Stefan Castle, 17 points, Dylan Harper, 16. Champagny had 16 points as well. So, a lot of different guys contributed for both teams, but in the end, the New York Knicks get the win. Um, I'm rooting for the Knicks in the finals, but I wouldn't be surprised if either of the teams won. So in this game, it was one of the worst games I think that the Spurs have played so far. Um, they looked good at different moments of the game. They, like I mentioned earlier, they led for most of the game. I think they had a 7 point lead at half, and I think they might have had a 7 point lead going into the fourth quarter. And the Knicks in the fourth quarter, with the brilliance of Jalen Brunson, he made a big corner three. He had a little floater that was pretty tough that went in for him. He scores 13 points in the fourth quarter, and the New York Knicks get the win by 10 points. So I think this was very, very important for the Knicks to win game one. They get home court advantage now, and I think this is a huge deal, and we'll see what happens going forward. I really liked how the Knicks played in this game. So even though their main guy is Jalen Brunson and he's their top scorer, every game they get double digit points from multiple guys. So in this one, Brunson, Towns, Ananobi, and Shamit all had double digit points. They got contributions from Bridges, Alvarado, Miles McBride, Josh Hart, and even Mitchell Robinson. So the Knicks, all the guys contributed. They played a lot of their guys. I think 5 guys, 6 guys came off the bench. So really, really good overall team performance by the Knicks. And Jalen Brunson, again, was huge in the fourth quarter. Every time I watch him play, I'm just amazed that at his height, I don't know how tall he is, 6'1", that he's just able to really get to any spot on the floor. And going into this game, I was wondering if, Wemby with his 7.5 foot height and his long frame, I was wondering if he was going to be a big disruption for Jalen Brunson. But that really wasn't the case. Jalen Brunson, with his big body, his big and wide body, he just finds his spots on the floor. He's able to use his body, use his spin move, and he really wasn't affected much by Wemby. So that was impressive to see from Jalen Brunson. And he did get a little bit injured in this game. I think he might have sprained his knee. One of the guys that fell, they kind of rolled over into his knee. So I was definitely worried about that. You never know with that stuff. It could be like something very serious, like torn ACL, or a serious knee sprain. But he was only out for a little bit of the time, and he came back in pretty quickly. So he's going to be good to go going forward. But that definitely was a little bit of a scare, since he did go back to the locker room when that happened. Um, for the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama had a mediocre game. He had some nice plays here and there. He made a three here and there, but the Knicks were able to defend him and keep him out of the paint. So Victor definitely has to get stronger going forward in the coming years, because all these defenders, they're just able to push him out of the paint since they're stronger than him. And he really is not that effective down low as far as like posting up and using his body. He's just, because of his height and his length, um, he's able to score in the paint, but he's definitely got to get stronger. He can't just have the guys push him out of the paint. So that'll be interesting to watch in his game in the coming years if he gets a lot stronger and improves that part of his game. So game one is in the books. Knicks get a big win. They're up 1-0, take home court advantage. Game two is this Friday, again in San Antonio. My expectation is that because the Spurs are going to be the more desperate team, they cannot go down 0-2 going into New York. My expectation is that the Spurs will be very desperate. I think Wemby is going to be very desperate. I think he's going to have a huge game. I think all the other guys are going to step up. Stephon Castle, Vassell, Harper, Champagny. I think they're going to have better games than game one. So my expectation is that in game two, the Spurs will tie things up and that they're going to head into New York tied at 1-1. But if the Knicks are able to win game two somehow, I think that's a huge blow for the Spurs. Uh, they cannot be down 0-2 going into New York, going into that environment. It might be a sweep at that point. Knicks might win game three and four, but still a lot of games to go. We'll see if the Spurs bounce back in game two, which is what I expect. But I'm going to definitely be rooting for the Knicks to win game two. I definitely want to see the New York Knicks win the title. I think that would be awesome for their fans, their city, and just the NBA. For Jalen Brunson, he would probably be the MVP. But we shall see what happens. Friday, NBA Finals Game 2 in San Antonio. Cannot wait. All right, guys. That's all I wanted to share as far as my reaction and take to NBA Finals Game 1. I really hope you enjoyed this content and got some value out of the video. If you did, again, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. Hit that like button and do make some comments on your reaction to Game 1, what you expect in Game 2, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.